Something that comes up a lot in TTRPG discussions is just how much does the system you're using matter? It's an interesting question that got reignited semi-recently when Brendan Lee Mulligan talked about why he uses D&D 5th edition. I tend to think that systems matter a lot. I made a video making that case about 2 years ago. In that video, I talked about other systems, but I didn't go into too many details. So today, I wanted to show why systems can matter and how they can add depth and nuance to a story while talking about one of my favorite systems from a really interesting TTRPG in a bit more detail. The Star Wars Revised Dark Side Point System. A bit of context for the mechanics of the game. Star Wars Revised is based on D&D 3.5's system. It's a D20 based system with classes, skills that you get to point points into, and most of the Force abilities are also represented as skills. It uses the same base stats as D&D 5th edition. The Dark Side Point system in Star Wars Revised is woven through many aspects of the game. On surface level, it is a basic morality system. Anytime you call on the dark side of the Force, attack purely out of anger, use a dark side power, or commit a truly evil act, you gain a dark side point. When your dark side point total is half your wisdom score, you are considered tainted, and when it exceeds your wisdom score, you are considered to have fallen to the dark side. At this point, your character is considered evil. This has a lot of in-game effects, but mostly for characters who are Force sensitive. The most obvious effect is your dark side skills gain a big boost, and any of your light side skills suffer major penalties. Those dark side skills are pretty strong at low and mid levels, and with this boost you don't really have to put that many points into those skills to make them powerful, thus making this very tempting to use. The light side Force skills are kind of useful, but they're mostly for helping others, fighting non-lethally, and dealing with those who have fallen to the dark side. So, not a big loss for all players. There's also a few very interesting and powerful classes that open you up once you have started down the dark path. And for some of them, you don't even actually have to go that far down the dark path. If you're not playing a Jedi, this is one of the fastest and best ways to become powerful in the Force. However, if your character is or was a Jedi, once you go full dark side, you can trade up to half your levels in Jedi classes for levels in Sith or dark side classes. This can give you a quick and significant boost in power. This mirrors the themes from the movies, that the dark side is a very quick route to power. But as the game progresses, that power lessens. The dark side does come at a cost. As a dark sider, each time you level up, you must make a fortitude saving throw, and if you fail, you lose a point from either your strength, dex, or con, as the dark side takes its toll on your body. Also, as you level up, some of those dark side skills start to fall off in usefulness. One notable exception to this is the skill Fear, that fills your opponent with fear and dread, causing the target to try to save or take a pretty big ongoing penalty to their skills and attacks. However, the target of the Fear skill can simply take a dark side point to eliminate that penalty on a failed save, showing how the dark side can spread and consume all that it touches. Getting rid of dark side points is fairly difficult. You have to meditate and give up one of your Force points to remove a single dark side point. Force points are a rare and valuable resource. They're this game's version of inspiration, but you can have more than one at a time, and you get one every time you level up or perform a truly heroic act. When you use a Force point, you add a number of d6s to any d20 based roll based on your level. At low and mid levels, the dark side is stronger and gives a more substantial boost, but falls off at higher levels. Once you are tainted by the dark side, if you want to use a Force point, you have to call on the dark side, giving you yet another dark side point and pulling you farther down that dark path. If you've played a fair amount of TTRPGs, you've probably had to make a hard, morally gray choice, where you do something bad, but for the greater good. Or you'll find yourself in a tough situation where you're in over your head, where just a bit more power from your character could maybe turn things around. Both of these situations can lead you closer to the dark side. All this to say that any Jedi or Force-wielding characters have to keep the lore of the dark side in the back of their minds as they play. It's always there if you need it. The dark side is powerful and useful, and maybe you only need to use it a little bit. You have a decent wisdom score. You'll be fine. And being perfectly good in light side doesn't give you any special bonuses. Maybe you could give in just this one time. I love this because both the character and the player can both be tempted. Now, I did not cover everything related to the dark side point system here, but just enough to show you that this system is woven into the game and touches a bunch of other systems to make a very deep game that can enable players and GMs to tell more interesting and subtle stories working alongside those systems. Staying on the light side is a choice you have to make and keep making, and has actual tangible consequences to the game. Now, I'm not going to say Star Wars Revised is a perfect game. It has a lot of flaws and questionable design decisions, and not all of its systems are this well thought out. It was just that this game and its systems are what helped me fall in love with TTRPGs all those years ago. It showed me the nuance and depth that games systems could provide. It's what I strive for in games I run and make. I also acknowledge this is not everyone's cup of tea. This many systems to keep track of can be a lot, and that's not what everyone wants. Too many rules can be confusing and feel stifling. I get that. I'm looking at you, Shadowrun. Shadowrun aside, I do encourage people to check out different systems to see what new and interesting stories that those systems can help you tell. Thanks for watching. Do you have a system in a game that inspires you? If so, please share it in the comments. I obviously love that kind of stuff. Do you feel that too many systems get in the way of the story you want to tell? Also leave a comment talking about that. We'll start a discussion. If you have any questions about TTRPGs or any topics you'd like to see me cover in the future, let me know. This channel has seen a staggering amount of support lately, and it's very much appreciated. I'll see you folks next time.